I have an unsexy, unpopular truth about racism. I think when it comes to racism, we've been taught about the institutionalized systemic portion of racism, and that's definitely there. And we've also been taught about, skin tone and hair texture and perceptions of beauty when it comes to racism. But I have to say, it's so much deeper than skin tone, hair texture. Those are important, but they're surface level. Racism, as we've been taught to call it, is psychological and spiritual trauma inflicted upon the targets every day and every night. So that means that it's a war on your mind. You've been stripped, we've been stripped, of our history, and I'm speaking collectively. We've been stripped of our history, we've been stripped of our identity, we've been stripped of our spirituality, our culture. We've been stripped. Our heritage. And it places you into a state of self-alienation, which is a detachment, a disconnect from yourself, from the truth of who you are. When that happens, you open yourself up for possession by alien consciousness or alien information. And that makes you vulnerable to carrying out someone else's agenda, which that agenda is to take you out. So, long story short, it is psychological and spiritual trauma that is meant to induce you into a self-destructive state so that you take yourself out. It sounds morbid. It is morbid. That's why you see so many articles about self-care when it comes to overcoming, internalized racism. You see so much about reclaiming your history, reclaiming your culture. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a while to get back to their history and culture because we've been so miseducated. It requires you to know how to protect your mind and control it, because whoever controls your mind controls your body. Now, when it comes to melanated women, we've been taught to be strong, out this world strong. We've been taught to be over-sexualized. We've been taught to suppress our anger. All of those things make us powerless, because there are powerful ways to express anger. All of those things have taught us to be powerless, but more deadly, those things keep you in a traumatized and corrupted state. Okay? A traumatized and corrupted state, which means eventually you're going to self-destruct, and then you're going to self-sabotage. And if you don't take yourself out, whether it's, from overeating, whether it's from not being able to control your blood pressure or your sugar levels, if you're still here, you're not going to be able to become who you're here to become, which is a divine being embodied. Okay? And being able to create whatever it is you want, being able to thrive despite attack coming at you. So that is resilience. We inherited resilience from our ancestors, but sometimes the resilience that we inherited could be disempowering, because part of that resilience was us suppressing our emotions, which is not healthy. It's also part of that was, get it done, be independent, which is not healthy either. Interdependence is what we want. But back to racism, you have to learn how to control your mind, but you also have to learn how to protect your mind. And that comes from building mental and spiritual power. And I named in my video yesterday about the reminders, I named off a few things like learning how to feel safe in your body, learning how to create safe outside of yourself. Also learning how to heal emotional triggers, because a lot of the times when we deal with people that are racist or bigots, we get triggered, but that's where healing triggers and shadow work comes in at. Also, meditation, being able to ground yourself, center yourself, being able to get enough sleep, enough rest, being able to release the suppressed emotions well, being able to release them, but also being able to generate positive emotions, because it's your emotional state that actually pulls in people to you. Your dominant emotional state pulls people and situations to you that either traumatize you even more, and really you pull them into your life because your soul wants you to release trapped trauma. That's really what's happening. If you don't know that, you think you're being punished, or you think you're cursed, or you think you're doomed. None of that is true. So you have to understand, get deeper into racism. It's about mind control. If you look at the definition of as to what racism is in a dictionary, you will see it's about mind control. Other ways to think of it would be inferiorization, colonization, socialization. Racism is all forms of those things, which what they have in common is mind control. So learning how to, again, control your mind, take back your mind, your divine mind, which is your power, your source, but also learning how to protect it from negative energies, negative thoughts coming from other people. When you go up in hostile environments, learning how to read your energy, but also read the energy of the room, so that you'll know not to accept that energy, because it can manipulate your energy field to where you start feeling shameful, hateful, angry, in fear, and that lowers your vibration, which means you're vulnerable to more attack. So knowing these things, looking at racism deeper than what is provided to you, will give you the solutions you need to thrive in it. You can thrive in any situation if you have the right tools in place. And I will talk more about this in the coming days on protective factors that you can have to heal from racial trauma, but also to thrive, regardless. Thrive in the midst of attack, because you are just that powerful. All right. So my name is Kadira Ali, and I help women heal racialized trauma so they can align with their greatest, most powerful self. Feel free to like, share, follow this video, my account. And as always, peace and love.